At last he saw a smart little green engine with 4 wheels. That's the one, he thought. If I choose you, will you work hard? Oh, sir, yes, sir. That's a good engine. I'll call you Percy.
Hey guys, it's TNF Disney GNE Fan 2009 back, and I could have made this video a few months ago if I wanted to, but at the time, I was actually planning to get something else from this range. Anyways, we're back with another 80th anniversary diecast push-along engine review. This time around, it is a big, fat, woolly green caterpillar. That's right, guys. Percy is the third engine in this review series. I first discovered Percy when I found Thomas at Fenwick in Newcastle, but I didn't buy him then because at the time I didn't want to get any of the other engines besides Thomas because of the Sodor Adventure Pack, which is on screen at the moment. But unfortunately, that pack is only a Walmart exclusive in the US, and I'm from the UK. And also, this range is going to get discontinued. In fact, Push-Along is going to die in 2026, being replaced by a new diecast line featuring magnets. Hopefully, this means Taken Play is returning. It better be pre-2014. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to try and get Percy, Henry, and James. I don't really care if I find Storybook Thomas or not because Playrail did it better. No offense to the Storybook Thomas because that is still a good looking model. Anyways, off topic. We are here because, well, you know, we've got Percy to unbox next. So let's go ahead and start doing that. Before we have a look at the back of the box, it's basically similar to Thomas's. It's got Percy's name in different languages, black and white promotional Hit Entertainment logo, the Brit Allcroft thing there that's been in use since like 2003 or 4. Mattel, who are making another Thomas reboot. I'm actually looking forward to this new reboot. I hope they bring back Bruno from All Legends Go because, you know, Bruno's autistic. Anyways. Oh, and the front of the packaging has the Airship logo, CGI Percy, the Metal Collection thing. It's basically, I'm basically just saying stuff I've already said about the Thomas one. Anyways, let's just get Percy out of the box. Wow, I actually did that on camera as well. Not every day I tend to do that. And as for the box, scrap it. We're here for Percy himself. Okay, here is the new 2025 Percy. I've seen other reviews on this, so I'm going to try not to copy what other people have said, like Piece of J, for example. I remember when promotional art for this Percy came out online, like you know what I mean, the promotional art. And let's start talking about the face, because, well, my face is slightly misprinted, the eyes are a little bit wonky, but I don't really mind that. I bought this last minute at Smith's Toy Superstore's Metro Centre, so the face is a little bit off, but it was the only Percy they had in stock. When I first saw this face, I was like, ew, disgusting. But over time, I have slowly warmed up to it. It's not really the best Percy face, though, I'm going to admit. But the mould for the face, it definitely looks like CGI Percy. It's just the way it's been printed on. The eyes are a little bit too big for my liking. If they were made slightly smaller like the prototype, here is prototype Percy on screen. Yeah, if the prototype Percy face was used, I probably would have, like, you know, I would have preferred this model a lot more, like, as on the same level as Thomas. But Percy is second best in this new range. Percy's whistle is a lot better than how it is on Thomas's. I like the fact it's actually more of a gold rather than a yellow. It doesn't have cab windows, but I'm going to modify this model myself because I plan to do that with these guys. I only modify the new CGI and all Legends Go Awards because the original push-alongs are absolute dog poo. Disgusting things. Now if we turn this model to the side, as you can see he's got side rods just like Thomas because they actually care about putting side rods on diecast models again. This is basically, you know, an Ertl situation all over again. But it's not as bad as Ertl. If we take a look at Percy's cab, we can see he's got rivet detailing. Just like in the Big World, Big Adventure seasons. I don't know why, but Mattel just loves to put rivets on CGI-based models. They're basically thinking the Big World, Big Adventures era is classic, which it isn't, but I'd rather take this over, you know, something else. The number 6 on Percy's cab looks really, really weird. Like, when I first saw this, I was like, what on earth is that 6? Honestly, prototype Percy was a lot better. I wish we actually had the prototype. The only things that I would change to, like, on the final model, on this model, the only things I would change is that number 6 and the eye printing. Apart from that, it seems to be an okay model. I do like how the wheels are put with the side rods, although they did have to sacrifice a cylinder so they could get the side rods on. I'm thinking about making my own cylinders to put on here, which means I'll have to cut a little bit of the side rod off here. Another problem with this Percy is that it's all rivets, but I can just drill them out. It's not a huge problem. The running board is basically a very similar running board to the All Engines Go one. I think it's the same mould. We're going to do some comparisons to other Percys from this range another time. Well, not another time, but later. Here is the back, and Percy actually has painted buffers unlike Thomas, but he doesn't have a lamp on the back for some reason. And also, the bunker, the back of the bunker where it's supposed to be grey, they didn't even paint that. Mattel doesn't like painting the backs. Maybe they think it's a bit too inappropriate. No, I'm only kidding. It's just because Mattel was being a bit lazy. But apart from that, it's okay. And don't even get me started on the coal bunker. That actually does look really... That looks really weird. It looks so out of place. They went the extra mile out on Thomas, but they made Percy a little bit lazy on that. At least I'm going to be modifying the stuff. And now if we have a look at the other side, if the camera decides to focus, there we go. It's basically the same as that side. I don't know why there's only rivet detailing around the cab and not, like, no handlebars on Percy's boiler or at the end where, like, just behind his smoke box, this part of the boiler. I am making these Big World Big Adventures styled purely because of the rivet detail. And now if we take a look underneath, here is the chassis. As you can see, there is rivets, so I'm going to have to super glue this model back together as soon as I am done modifying it. Which is a little bit of a pity, but hey, it's worth it. The coupling is just the same as the other ones in the range, so there's nothing to say about that. Oh, there's some handlebars here next to Percy's really big fat number 6. I like the fact that they added the handrails on the engines. It gives them a little bit extra realism, although at the same time, it does feel big with Big Avengers-esque. I wonder if this new detail that's applied on these models will end up going onto the 2026 reboot project. Why am I calling it a reboot? It's because it's another television series. So don't get confused with All Legends Go. Overall, this Percy, despite having flaws, I still consider it to be a good model of Percy. It's not as good as Thomas, but it is the second best model, like, in the range that is not a Thomas. All the Thomases are good in this range. I know Piece of J has already done this, but I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison with the other push-on Percys as well. Here is my most recent All Engines Go Percy. I have replaced my original one because of that horrible lining that has happened to it a few years ago. So this is a completely new model. As you can see, I've given him the lamp. I've given him the whistle detail. I've even gave him yellow lining using paint pen to make the yellow lining around the cab. The cab window that is, obviously. As you can see, the running board mold is exactly the same. This one's just slightly more, slightly more brighter. I was going to say that, but on camera it doesn't like to actually properly show. So, there's that. Oh, I've just knocked the track over, that's nice. If we turn these guys around to the back, as you can see, I've done a lamp on the back of the All Legends Go one, because as I've said, I modify All Legends Go and the new CGI stuff. These are very, very close, good Percys. I'm actually not sure which one I prefer. If I had to choose one, it would be the All Engines Go one, because it is slightly more accurate to Percy's appearance in that show. I'm not saying the CGI one is bad, because it's definitely not. It's just a little bit flawed, that's all. I still think it's a really good model, though. So if we get rid of the All Engines Go one, I'm just going to have to do wobbling on the camera for a minute, because I've just went down and got the original push-along Percy, which definitely is worse than all of them. It's amazing how push-along went from really bad to great when All Legends Go came around, and then, you know, got new CGI stuff which is good, except for certain characters like Diesel, Annie and Clarabelle. This Percy's got actually sun fading on his face. I haven't really been touching at this one, so I'm assuming it's because of, you know, certain detail. If we take a look at the faces, I will admit the original Percy has a better face. I'm not saying the new one is bad. I mean, I've already said what I think of the new face, but I honestly wish we had this face on this Percy, because that face has been used for, like, I was going to say it's been used since 2013, but, you know, when All Skull came around, they scrapped CGI. So there's that. The number 6 on the original is a lot better as well compared to the new one. It's a shame because they were going to add that 6 on this model. It's seen on the prototype. But yeah, this model's definitely a lot better than this. In fact, I'm going to go and make him derail. So long. Now I'm going to reach over to the other 2 items from this range. Here is Thomas, who I did the first review of. I've only had him for a few months. I did do some customization to this Thomas. I gave him the white running board, the rivet detailing. Even on the buffer beam I've given rivet detailing. Actual gold on the whistle. You guys know. So we put these guys onto the Tomy track I have behind me. Here is what they look like together. Percy looks slightly taller than Thomas. I am not 100% sure why. Thomas is honestly the best one in the range. I've said that a few times already, though. That's what they look like from the sides, and if I just go around and change them over from the back, as you can see, Thomas has a lamp moulded. Percy doesn't. Here they are from these sides. And once again from the front. What do you guys think is the better model, Thomas or Percy? I've already said what I have to say. I want to know what you guys think. You can let me know in the comments. Thomas is going to puff away off the tracks because he is auditioning for Magic Railroad number 2. Not actually, but, you know. And just before we close up this video, here is this Percy next to the Ruby Thomas. Now, there isn't much to actually compare with, because this is just the same Thomas, but he's got no rivet detailing. And yes, I did give him the updates. I've given him cab windows, the running board is painted white. I gave the truck's all engines go colours on the wheels. And yes, they have started getting their little decay problem. The chrome is starting to rub off, but I knew that was going to happen, so there's that. I wonder what it would be like if they actually made more characters in the Ruby lineup. Just imagine if we actually got a Ruby Percy. Here is what Percy looks like compared to the All Legends Go minecarts. I know these are the Ruby ones, but still. He's actually quite tall compared to them. But yet again, so is Thomas. Which engine looks better compared to with All Legends Go rolling stock, Thomas or Percy? You can let me know in the comments. Let's drive Ruby Thomas away. And conclude the video. That was my review on the new 2025 CGI Percy. What do you guys think of Percy in the new push-along style? Do you think he looks better than Thomas? I think Thomas is still the best in the lineup, but Percy's still the second best character, not counting the other variants of Thomas, in this range. Why are the two most popular best friends in the show the best ones in the range? I have no idea. What do you guys think of Percy? You can let me know in the comments below. Are you gonna get some of the other characters in this range, like Diesel when he comes out next year, or Henry and James? Let me know. Anyways, I'm gonna go modify Percy. So I'll see you guys in another video. And the Fat Controller's gonna drive Percy back to the yard.